The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce over 8 new characters in this story by director J.J. Abrams that'll be used in a way in order to benefit many of the characters like Kylo Ren and Rey and a whole lot more in Episode 9. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, everything about Episode 9 that's coming together as we speak seems to be very impressive so far, with a lot of callbacks to Legends / the Expanded Universe, as well as borrowing elements from all of that and incorporating it into many of the sequel trilogy-based characters, like Kylo, Rey, Snoke, you name it. Now, what's great about Episode 9 as well is that we do know that this movie is being treated as not just the end of the sequel trilogy, but they're using it as the culmination of the Skywalker saga. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intriguing, involving Snokes Apprentice before Kylo Ren. Now, specifically, a description of Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren entering of what's described to be Snoke's vault, within the abandoned First Order headquarters. It's said that Kylo and the Knights eventually come across many of Snoke's belongings, one of which includes Snoke's apprentice before Kylo's, and his lightsaber who went by the name of Dante. It's said that eventually Kylo comes across a hologram of Supreme Leader Snoke that was recorded just before Kylo was brought in by the Knights of Ren, and named Kylo Ren by Supreme Leader Snoke. It's revealed in the hologram of Snoke that Snoke had sent his apprentice Dante into the beyond, and that he could still feel his presence, and that he was growing stronger through the ways of the dark side. However, it's described that the beyond is a very hard place to pinpoint in the galaxy, and that Snoke's apprentice discovered it and never returned, just like many others before him. However, Snoke states that he feels his apprentice and knows he will never return, and is in need of a new one that he has been watching over for over 10 years. That person would end up being Kylo Ren, who eventually is brought into the First Order. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because this is something very interesting. Now, by the Snoke hologram, Snoke's apprentice is still alive at that point in time, and was actually sent in to the Beyond by Supreme Leader Snoke. This opens up a lot of questions, and it really leaves one to believe that Snoke's apprentice is indeed going to be the Dark Acolyte in Episode 9, portrayed by Matt Smith, that's eventually going to be taken over by the spirit of Sidious. So what's really interesting about this is Snoke's vault contains a lot of secrets within the abandoned First Order headquarters, as you all know. This is going to be a piece within the second act of the film, where Kylo and the Knights go on a certain quest in order to discover the truth about the Beyond and the origins of the dark side as well. So what I like about this is that we do get to learn a little bit more about Snoke's secret apprentice. I don't know if you guys knew this, but in The Last Jedi novelization, it does indeed state, and it is canon, that Snoke at least had one other apprentice before Kylo Ren came into the picture here within the First Order, and was even known as Kylo Ren. So this new apprentice that is named Dante, we actually heard about him lightly before in the past, I would say about a month or two ago. The character's name is Dante. His lightsaber was left behind within Snoke's vault. The saber itself is said to be deactivated and broken and can no longer be used, and he passes it along to one of the knights by Kylo Ren, where they actually capture it and use it for something else. So what's really interesting about this, though, is that this tells us that Snoke actually sent his own apprentice into the Beyond. Now, it's very possible that Snoke knew that he would never return, and that is exactly what the whole entire plan was. Who knows? But the thing about this, though, is that this connects to the Dark Acolyte. I don't know if you guys have been following, but the Dark Acolyte is the main new villain in Episode 9. He's going to be a big character that's going to have a big connection to the spirit of Sidious, and is going to play a large role in the third act of the movie. So this Dark Acolyte originates from the Beyond, and is said to be very old, not very, very old, like ancient, but he's actually said to at least be over the age of 40 from what we have been hearing. That's not a long time per se, but for a character that has been staying over in the unknown regions and staying over in the Beyond for over 40 years, give or take, that to me is pretty insane. I mean, the fact that this character has been over there for so long, that's a very old character to be dealing with the dark side of the Force that is very much more powerful than any other uses of the dark side that we have ever seen before in Star Wars history. So this Dark Acolyte, like I've always said, you know, most likely is indeed Snoke's apprentice that Snoke actually sent over into the Beyond and never returned, just like Snoke's master Nile Ren, who went over there and never returned. Now, what's great about this is that the Acolytes of the Beyond, there's not just one of them, it's a whole entire group of dark side worshippers that reside over in the Beyond. And this is going to be a very interesting point to see exactly how it's all going to really fit into the picture of the story of Episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.